Hello, everybody, and welcome to this brand new episode of Music to Live with Shanti. I'm your host, Shanti Pepalini, and today I'm here with Tommi from Finland, and together we're gonna talk about his career as a model and the hardcore scene in the north. What we're waiting for? Let's go!
Check this out. Music to live for with Shanti.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this brand new episode of Music to Live with Shanti. I'm your host, Shanti Pepalini, and today I'm here with Tommi from Finland. How you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, amazingly. We are living some good summer days. Thankfully, not so hot right now because we had like a week where for Switzerland was incredibly hot.
Yeah.
And I think we have to get used to that. But for me personally, way too much. So less sleep and a lot of things to do. But I'm happy. Everything is fine. And I'm glad that we had the time for these interviews. There's a lot of topics on the table. But before we jump into the interviews and everything, I'll let you introduce yourself for the audience.
Okay, here we go. It's Tommy here. You probably have seen me on Instagram ads or somewhere in Facebook or something. That's where my face may be the most recognizable. So basically, I'm just a model who does something for himself, and basically that's all about it.
All right, yeah, that's the reason why also I connect with you and ask you to be part of the podcast because um as many people up there, I discover you, I get to know you from my Instagram,
Yeah,
and this is also something new, this is part of the new way to meet people, to get in touch with people and before let's be honest, first things first, people see your tattoos.
yeah,
Amazing works, by the way. Shout out to your tattoo artist, because it's very cool. It fits right on you. And I saw you wearing some band shirt, wearing also merch from some people that also appeared on this podcast.
yeah,
Still Proud is one of them. And, I thought, yeah, that's interesting because this is part of the scene, the music scene that always been there. I remember like 20 years ago, maybe just look at some tattoo catalogs, and this was the way people get into with that, into music, into tattoos, and underground movements. And then on social media, of course, everybody got pictures, everybody got profiles, and I thought it was very interesting. And my curiosity was, how really did you get into that kind of, I would say, modeling or the idea of show yourself in that way?
yeah. Basically, the modeling thing happened by accident. So I got tattooed already. I was almost fully done. All of my work took like 10 years. So I didn't really make a big number of myself. I just posted things on my Instagram and Facebook and so on. And at some point, one company asked if they can send me a t-shirt. So yeah, of course, they can send me one. And I took some pictures with my phone of it and sent them over and posted it. And it got from there to another point at the next. So basically, the years 2019 and 2020 were the most busiest, and I just got mail all over all the time. And of course, COVID helped a lot because everyone was at home and just buying things online and so on. So there was more money to invest in modeling and everything like that. So yeah, it got me started, and I'm still on that same track.
Nice, but you never thought like, oh yeah, I need to start a career as a model. Everything happened just spontaneously.
Yeah, yeah, that's about it because I didn't plan this at all. Of course, I always have wanted to be like out there and people to see me and my outlook and my personality, but I didn't plan it. And when it comes to modeling, I never ask for anything. I let people and companies to approach me, and if they
Hmm.
want me to represent them, of course, I mean, because it's rude to ask for free stuff from anyone
I totally
just to
understand
get
that.
some pictures. So I think that's a better way to go.
Oh, it's very cool because it's also sounds really, I mean, it is totally honest as approach.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest, I really like your pictures. And how what's your method? I mean, you go to studios, or you organize photo shooting, or you do everything on your own?
I do everything on my own, and in the beginning, it was kind of the thought I had. If I'm going to get this going and do this for a long time, I need to do all of this by myself because I need to see how I look in the picture when I'm taking the pictures itself. And so basically, I got a camera which has a Android app. I can see myself from my phone, and I can just snap pictures by my thumb.
Nice.
And my camera is on my tripod, so that's all I need.
That's all you need. Oh, I love this idea of DIY, but also the fact that you are more conscious on what's the
Yeah,
final result is, because in the end of the day, on the picture is you,
yeah,
is your portrait. Of course, as we said, the merch from agency, they want you to show them what they're producing,
yeah,
and but it's you.
yeah,
So I really love this approach because personally, for my job, for advertising my job, but even for the podcast, I sometimes I kind of struggling to say, "Hi, should I do on my own or should I ask somebody?" Of course, if there is something like cutting videos or audios
yeah,
or doing that, I ask for people who know better, and
yeah,
it's a chance to know a little bit about that, you know. And
yeah, of course.
but there is always this struggling, and already that we're talking about how to see yourself. Um, One of the most asked question I got from young musician I work with, um, it's how they have to show themselves. You know, there is this insecurity sometimes,
Yeah,
and not just about how many times should I invest in social media, and of course, and social media works like this, is video or pictures, but really who is the person behind the picture, that, and this sometimes create insecurity. Did you have
yeah.
to deal with something like that in the beginning, or it was just natural?
Uh, I think I'm still struggling with the insecurities because I take a lot of pictures and only like a fraction of them, those are okay in my eyes. If
Hmm.
someone else, like my wife, sees them, she's like, yeah, they're all good. But my vision is different. And of course, that is also one reason I don't work with photographers that often because it's always their vision and how they see the pictures and which are good pictures and which are not. So I'm not always agreeing with them. Of
Hmm.
course, there's good ones and something that just I need to adjust that kind of go with it, so to speak.
I totally get it. Yeah, this is something that many people will find very inspiring. Listen to the podcast because, as I said, it's one of the biggest question nowadays.
Yeah,
Um, I had a very nice talk with piano players called Chiara Opalio. She's living not far away from Basel. She's from Italy, and amazing musicians. And we had a talk on this podcast, and one of the last question was the way how do you present yourself when you do advertisement for your project and concerts. And she told me, you know what, I like to take regularly new pictures or
yeah,
photo shooting if it happens, for the reason that if I do now, like in 2025 or something, a project, a concert, a recital, I'd like to have the picture on the flyer or on the program of the concert that is actual. Like
yeah,
it's me right now. It's not the girl or the woman I was 5 years ago. Even if the picture's still amazing, I want the audience have this expectation and ideas of who I am right now. And I thought
yeah,
that was very, very, very strong message, you know, because you take part of your identity and you left maybe also some kind of insecurity behind of you because it's,
yeah,
this is me right now. And This is something that I always said. I got connection with young musicians. Time comes to me for logistic question for events and new concert and how to deal with the career. Um, Not that I'm a life coach or a business coach, but when you're long in some kind of business, you see with different eyes and you can give maybe other kind of opinions. Um, and I always said you just go and try it and see what's the result is. And so I think that is interesting. So you got you organize your camera, you organize yourself, and start on taking pictures and building your own business. That's also an amazing
Yeah,
thing because nowadays we notice that if you want, I will say with successful doesn't mean for me necessarily becoming rich, but doing something that you like in your life. That's being in balance, being healthy, having a good life, and doing what you do for living, something that is really something that belongs to you. And that's I think that's the most common and powerful things that somebody should do. And reaching this kind of consciousness in how you present yourself and how your products looks like, it's so strong. But we know both that tattoos always been related to the music scene, and I know you are living in Finland, and I have to be honest, I don't know much about your punk and hardcore scene. I my knowledge arrived just to Denmark. I got some good friends there. Shout out to Ghost Iris, and but I'm very curious. Can you describe me and for the audience a little bit how the music scene is working there?
yeah. Well, yeah, the music scene in Finland is big, of course, like it is in every country in the world. So the metal scene is biggest, I'd say. Of course, rap and pop is always popular, but talking about this like underground stuff more. So metal is big thing, and there's punk and hardcore both exist. Punk has roots that go all the way back to 70s and 80s. There's like bands like called Tervet Cadet, which was also one of the inspirations for Max Cavalera when he was playing with Sepultura, and he always says about that still.
All right,
Was
all
big
right.
inspiration for him. So that's about punk, but then hardcore scene maybe uh, kind of just the hardcore we know today started in late 90s, I'd say. 2000 was the main era for that, and it's still strong, but I have just kind of fall off the tracks in the
Hmm.
past few years because after COVID, it has been just different here. There's still shows, but not that much.
Yeah.
So also, of course, the bands I grew up with have all grown up and have children and families and so on. So they are not playing that often anymore, at least. But they are still playing and just keeping it fun. And I think that is the way to go, just on your own terms, so to
Hmm.
speak.
Yeah, the fact that after COVID, everything changed. Like I can see
Yeah,
that in Basel too. I had a very nice talk yesterday with a good friend of mine. He's a photographer and he's into South American Latin music
yeah,
and doing some DJing right now. Big when people want to dance and he makes very a lot of nice sold out evening. And we were talking about why we don't bring some live music, I mean,
yeah,
it's more you can feel more the feelings, the energy. And he said, Shanti, I tried for like 10 years here in Basel to bring the scene but people are not used to pay
yeah,
for having for and for go and dance, there is less this idea of live music and go dance. And in this specific case, and he told me even for the bookers or organizers, it's hard because people who go to dance, they drink less, for example, or they go
of
to the
course.
bar, and because they want to be, I don't know, energy focus, I don't know, just they just don't consume drinks as other events. So he told me, it's very hard to convince people,
Yeah,
let's organize something. for what is metal, there is we had like one or two location here in the city, small venues, and I love that. But now there is just one bar that sometimes offers some punk or
Yeah,
metal, and it's cool. But yeah, I can personally I feel that it's less,
yeah,
and there is many reasons. Most of them, sadly, it goes about cost.
yeah,
And everything is more expensive. I think it doesn't matter where you are right now. This is the trend.
yeah,
Um,
true.
but on the other side, there is a kind of a very cool live music scene. People really want to go out and see concert.
Yeah,
It happened just for me just once or twice to talk to somebody and they told me, Shanti, after COVID, I don't feel comfortable to go to big shows and be in between so many people.
yeah,
I get it. I respect that. But as I said, it's not that now people don't want to go and see shows live or sitting at the theater or, just it doesn't matter which kind of cultural events we're talking about. And so I really hope it's going to be just like a trend, like, maybe
yeah,
in 3 years, things gonna change. Um, but yeah, I noticed like as I said, I got most of my friends are in Denmark right now. When very music scene that's quite active, and there is one band called Art Lesson, and they're really cool. And we were talk about that, like, and they say, there is a lot of bands, as you said, maybe they got still have like families and new things
yeah,
in life, but they still want to play. And this is cool because I always think that the old school motivates always the new school,
of
and
course.
hopefully vice versa. And that's something cool. And but if I'm correct, you are also straight edge, right?
Yeah, 14
Yes.
years.
So how did you get into that philosophy? Or I call it more I don't call it like a way of something. For me, I like to call it like a life balance or like philosophy. But how did you get into the straight edge?
Yeah, basically, music has been the biggest thing in my life always. I kind of seen the world through the music and how people are spitting it out in the lyrics. So straight edge is also one thing that grew up in me when I started listening more straight edge bands from Have Heart to Earth Crisis and what are the others. I started off with Casey Jones and Ghost Ship was the one that kind of just got through me.
Hmm.
So the album Cold Truth, it was the one I'm still thinking about when I kind of just decided this is it. I'm starting to get more into getting sober and so on. And alcohol was always the only thing that kept me from being straight edge. And so I was like 22 or something, and I decided one day, this is it, no more. Tomorrow, I'm starting, and haven't looked back ever since.
Nice, nice. It's all I like to hear how different people get into that.
Yeah,
Because for those who don't know, straight edge is it come from a music scene, honestly. And nowadays, many people just claim it, and but I don't know if they really know the story behind that. There is this song from the band Minor Threat
yeah,
titled Straight Edge, and the song they say, I got better things to do. I don't need to sniff glue on coke and getting drunk. Long story short, straight edge is just being against and don't use drugs, don't drink alcohol, and
yeah,
also try to follow, a very healthy and respectful way of live sexuality and relation and everything.
yeah,
Of course, at that time it was a lot of controversial topics because the punk scene, the hardcore scene was very this idea of punk and self-destruction, and
yeah,
so there was a lot of drugs involved, a lot of substances, and with the years, it happens to become like a movement with up and downs. There is also a lot of very interesting book about the topics, documentaries, and and still many musicians, even not just in the hardcore scene, but there is also some kind of pop bands that where maybe the singer or some musician grew up in the hardcore
Yeah,
scene and they claim straight edge. They say, no, no, this is still something for me. It's very important. Um, Personally, I getting to know straight edge when I was something like 16 or 17. And I remember that time, you tried to fit in somewhere and I thought, "Oh, yeah, punk rock is my thing. I love it." And but I never get really into the drink or like
yeah,
party thing. Cause I won't lie to anybody. I was scared, I always saw my friends getting wasted, puke the hell out, and I say I don't like that. I don't want that, like
yeah,
so I was kind of talk trash, just like yeah, it's cool. And then this
yeah,
friend of mine, as his name is Domiziano, came to me, bring him some albums, some bands like Converge and Caliban, and then who Poison the Well, stuff like that,
yeah,
and then he was straight edge at the time, and at the beginning I say. Oh, that's so stupid because I want to be rebel, I say, no, come on, we are punk rock or but man, I guess I just realized when I was 17, I just realized, you know what? I don't need that. I
yeah,
like the way I wanted to live my life in a healthy way. So it was a kind of, yeah, rebellish thing not to drink and
yeah.
stay
It is.
sober. And I've been lucky because the companies I was hanging out, they totally respect that. I remember this, you are maybe 16 and you're hanging out with guys with are 18 or 20s,
Yeah,
and they say, "Yo, Shanti, take a beer." I say, "No, thank you. I don't drink." Say, "Oh, good for you." And I
yeah,
could stay part of the companies. It's not that, oh, if you don't fit it, you can belong.
yeah,
And I'm very thankful for that. And now I turn at the 1st of August 39, so it's still a thing. It's
yeah,
very important to me because it creates this balance, this connection in between my passion for music, and it's the same for you. Music is such
yeah,
a big thing, and my daily life. And I noticed that sometimes there's people that don't get it. Like, oh, are you still not drinking? You still not? No, that's okay. And it's a way of life, and if you find this balance, it's okay. And I got friends that also quit straight edge, and I always said, "Oh, this is your life. Do whatever you want." Is
yeah,
and I always ask. Some people ask me, "Oh, Shanti, does it bother you that I quit straight edge?" And I answer always, "Let me ask you a question. Are you happy with your life and everything?" And I say, "Yes." I say, there you have your answer. That's what
yeah.
matters.
Exactly.
I got some friends that were like in some kind of cruise and like moshing, doing violent dance, a vegan straight edge, and they quit. And I said, if you learn something from that period of your life, you got everything you need to keep going. And
Yeah,
that's maybe the sad part of the straight edge things, because sometimes it's this kind of, oh, if you quit, you're not part of something. I say I'm not the kind of person. I know everything, live and left live, and just enjoying life. And but I got some interaction with some people that were kind of scared to tell me that they weren't a hedge anymore. I say, no,
yeah,
man. I see you. You got a good job. You are healthy. Maybe you have kids and everything. And I say, man, I'm happy for you, and that's the point. Is it? That's the point, even for the straight edge things. In some ways, I just find your balance. Um,
yeah.
but the straight edge scene in Finland is big, or you just few people, and everybody or stuff like that.
I Yeah, it has been big or bigger at least. It's still alive, and when I claimed straight edge, I was the only one in my kind of small circle, and I was the only one for a long time. There was a couple of friends who also claimed. Some may still be straight edge, and some aren't. It's perfectly fine for me, and it always has been like that. We all have our own lives. We live our own lives, and if we are happy with it, that's the way to go. I
Mhm.
haven't ever seen someone differently based on their life choices. when it comes to drinking or smoking or something like that. If it works for them, yeah, just fine.
Yeah, that's the point. But the things that many people don't understand is how music can bring you so much, you know? And then I think the answer is just that, for example, for me, the hardcore scene, I remember my first concert. And it was the brother of a friend of mine. He drove us there. He's
Yeah,
just like there is somebody showing you, bring into the concert. It's kind of like a Lion King thing. They put like the lion
yeah,
on the
kind of.
sky, and you have access. And the scene was always so welcoming. And I remember I grew up in the south of Switzerland. And Switzerland definitely a small country. You
Yeah,
get through in 3 hours, 4 hours. You get through from north to south. So imagine growing up in a small town in the south where we speak Italian. There is no, and you go, you say, okay, it's Saturday morning. We meet there. We every friends come with one car. We got three cars. Everybody jump in one car, and we drove 2 hours to Zurich where the concert is. We spend the day there, evening concert, and through the night you go back
yeah,
to the south. And those were my experience in the hardcore scene. And we knew that when there was concert in some big city, all the people come from the French part, from the north of Switzerland, came in and just so there was the moment. And we didn't have we may had MySpace or like this, but I remember that in the beginning I didn't have WhatsApp. So it's not that
yeah,
you ask the number, you can chat regularly. So those moments were the moments where you could see other people.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and many friends I built in that time to still here. And so this is why music not just gave me the stranger things, but also it got me also into know a lot of very good persons that
Yeah,
I can call friends nowadays, and even doing podcast.
yeah,
The fact that we connected our this episode, for example, but also knowing people from Hawaii, knowing people from the States, knowing people from Italy and other regions of the world.
yeah,
Why we got connected? It's not because other specific, but beside music.
yeah,
And this is the magic. I love that. That's something cool. Um, Going back to the topics about tattoos, when did
yeah,
you start it? Because you got the whole body covered.
yeah,
All right. So when did you start it doing with this process?
yeah. I started at 2008,
Hmm.
and that idea just popped out on my head like 2 weeks before I got tattooed for the first time. Like I need to have this. I need to do this because this is what gets me on the next level with my own insecurities and so on. So I got the first parts on my head
Hmm.
because I just needed to have some color on my skin because my skin is pale as snow. And I also lost pretty much all of my body hair when I was like 8 years old. So I was completely white and I wasn't comfortable with it. So I struggled with that all my teenage years. So I
Hmm.
basically was all alone with my music, and that is kind of my backstory, so to speak. So for the first 2 years, I got pieces done by one artist, and it wasn't so good, which I realized too late. So I have covered all of those parts from the first 2 years, and I switched to the new artist back in 2010 to Juho Sipilä, who works at Helsinki these days, but he used to work in my hometown when I was still also living there. So you can find his profile from the
Hmm.
description of this episode. So he basically has done almost all of my tattoos, but when I calculate all of the artists who have done something on my body, there's like 18 artists. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice, nice. Oh, yep. Because every time somebody got a tattoos, of course, nowadays we are more used to see people with tattoos.
Yeah,
Like not just in the music scene, but outside. You see people work in the hospital, the restaurants. I think the only, I mean, at least in Switzerland, one of the only place that people say you don't tattoo your hands, your forearms, your neck is just when you work in a bank.
yeah,
Um, but on the other side, I see many cops out there full of tattoos, and but I think the most high catch is when there was this huge discussion about people working like in the hospitals and
yeah,
working with people. I see that nowadays is very accepted. Maybe there's some hold patients there. Maybe so they're not used to, but it's not against that. Like
yeah,
they're just really curious about, and but it still start having fun. But sorry, being fine with people.
yeah,
Just having tattoos. But and of course, everybody asks if you want to, if you have tattoos because you wanted to enrage your parents or stuff like that. I have to be honest, my parents never liked my tattoos, but they never said don't do that. Like it's
yeah,
something maybe sometimes you need to accept. But I did mine really because I always liked the tattoo culture,
yeah,
and knowing more about traditions and not more just about how we got the tattoo culture here in our part of the world. So it was
yeah,
really a know more and learning more, and I did just for myself, honestly. No rebellions, not no because of these and that. I just enjoyed having these pieces on my skin. And
yeah,
on my case is a little bit of the contrary. So I got a lot of tattoos on my body, but because color of my skin, you don't see like so flashy. And then
yeah,
in some ways, I kind of like that because people sometimes don't notice that. And then maybe we are having dinner or we're talking or this like, oh man, but you have a lot of tattoos,
yeah,
and it's just kind of funny, and because that means that people starting getting to you, reading how you talk. I just and then you look at you. It's a very very kind of approach. But of course, we're gonna put in the description of the episode the link of your tattoo artist because
yeah,
he deserved definitely this shout out because he did amazing work, and I love that. And I think even talking about your modeling career, I think that the tattoos fits really right and it feels on point. It's also giving these alternatives nowadays. People talking, and I think it's important to say, oh, what is the standard for beauty or for bodies that people show? So we have for
yeah,
men maybe now still this kind of really jacked off people, like really macho like this. For women, just this the kind of, which kind of chef body they want to have and everything. But and that is called the alternative scene, and it's something like a terms that I never don't like much. But there is the alternative, and there is a person like you that just, yeah, this is other way. Well, look
yeah,
at how what a t-shirt fits or this fits when you have a lot of tattoos.
yeah,
That's just cool because you show you something different in a positive ways,
yeah,
and I like the fact that brands also comes to you and ask you for a collaboration because they think that they gonna would be fit, would be cool to be represented somebody like you. But have you do you have some project for your own label or I don't know your own products? There is something in going on there in that direction.
yeah. Uh, First of all, I always kind of wanted to be in a band because I have always felt the need to be somewhere out there and do something and kind of be known for my work. So because I haven't got any bands ever, for some reason, maybe I haven't known the right people, or maybe it's just my personality because I'm not so outspoken and I'm mostly introverted when I'm in company. So I had a record label back in the day and distribution, but no one buys records anymore. Everyone goes to Spotify and YouTube and so on. So I quit that after a couple of years. And while I've been modeling for other companies, I've felt the need to have something of my own, like something to tell my own story and where I've come from and how I've seen my life and this world in in today's life also. So I'm kind of finally starting and soon maybe getting it out there. Clothing brand, and the name of that clothing brand is going to be Nothing to No One, which represents my way of the my personality and where I come from. It comes from self-doubt and not insecurities and so on. So it's important for me personally to get it out there. And if someone buys a shirt and wears it, that's also that already is a win for me to
Mhm.
see someone relating to my story. And that's all I need. I'm not looking for money out of this. I just need to create.
Oh,
That's about it.
okay, okay. That's such a good plan. I'm glad to hear that. I'm very curious about that, and even more, I love the message behind what
Yeah,
Jesus said, and it's about the fact to find a way to express yourself or to share
yeah,
something about you. Of course, many people do this through arts, like mostly music or painting and or graphic design. There's a lot of ways to do
yeah,
that. Um, but yeah, I love the idea of the fact that you say, I want to do something to express and share something. Oh,
yeah.
this is something that sometimes nowadays is totally forgotten. We have these
Yeah,
trends
it is.
that you have to have a band or you have to, and in the background is always about money. As I was saying, success, what does it mean to me? Like this podcast is DIY. I do
Yeah,
it from my room. I do edit my on my own, like, and I always said to everybody, I don't monetize it. It's my passion. I love doing that. I love doing radio. I love to talk to people. And if somebody listens to this episode, we got some ideas, and then maybe reach out my guest, for and they start a connection or a dialogue. This is what it makes me feel good,
yeah,
and of course I had this dream about, oh, why not doing this more professionally,
yeah,
because at the end of the day, the society works in some ways. So money, money as a weight in our lives. I would say sadly, uh, but once again, if you put passion in something, it just what you're doing is resonate even more. But
yeah,
nowadays, now. For me, it's always important to say when I reach out to a guest and I say, I offer a window, a talk, as a space, but for me, it's just passion. I
yeah,
mean, just because it gave me a lot of energy. I love when the day before an episode, I start thinking what I want to do. Is there some ideas? Then I do it, and then after I did my episode, I recorded the episode. I always so hyped because yeah, that was cool. I felt the energy. So it gives. I understand when you said, I want something that people can relate with, or I can
yeah,
give out something. It is so important. It's interesting that you said that, yeah, nowadays people don't buy CDs or like, but it's kind of a mystery because I have a ton of friends that keep order. Not, I thought that in the last year the trend was to buy the vinyl,
yeah,
for example. And for me, has been not because I think, oh my God, vinyl are the best, but because the format. I love to have you a biggest artwork. It's something material that it's very, very cool to hone. Um, but the CDs, that's crazy.
yeah,
And a lot of people still buying CDs. And yeah, so I can understand maybe it's less than before, but it's still a business. I don't know if you ever heard of Knives Out from Paris.
yeah, sure.
Wait, Jean-Marie is a supporter of this podcast. I love him so much, and he showed me some of his works. Guys, go and check it out, Knives Out, on all social media, because he released some albums from different bands, different kind of music, more heavy metal, metalcore stuff. even some hip hop with Danny Diablo, if I correct, and he did this kind of custom artworks. That mean not just the album have like a special edition, let's call it like this, of the printing of the album, the cover, the design, but also it cut in the paper everything. So the album, when you open it, it becomes like kind of an art piece, and it's amazing. He did something also with lights. So if you got with the red and blue, so something movie is moving on the
Yeah.
CDs, and oh, I said, come on, really? That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I think that it's coming back, but I don't know if in Finland was the same. But I remember being a child and being my town. It's called Locarno, and there was like in the main square there was this music store, and there was a ton of CDs, and you go there and you just scroll like people does
Yeah.
nowadays with LPs. You see all these people going now these videos of people. Oh, what is in your bag? And you see these people going. But this was with CDs,
Yeah.
and I remember going there and no clue about who is this artist, who is it. Just I let myself inspire by the art covers, and I discovered so many interesting albums, and I spent hours there. I remember collecting albums, going
Yeah.
to the
Same.
table, and the guy, oh, do you want to listen to those? Yeah, thank you. And I remember even one day they told me, come on, you can change it on your own because you have so many things you want to listen to. And that was an experience that I think nowadays many people have no fucking clue what it is.
Yeah. True. It doesn't happen anymore because we have internet, we have phones on our hands. We can go
Yeah.
to Spotify and check if this is good or not, and we can go Google it,
Yeah.
what kind of music it is, what other place bands these people playing, and so on. But when were childs, we have to go to record store and basically just look for the album covers and see if this is metal at all, what it is. Like Cypress Hill Records, I remember the album covers looks like metal covers, but so far from it.
Yeah.
So if you're not into that, you're just mistaken a lot.
Yes. For me, one of the album um, that stood in my mind was one of No Use for a Name, California
Yeah,
punk rock band, and this album called title Making Friends. And the cover there is the scouts playing, and
yeah,
then there's the scout in flames in the back, and the artwork they were using was like it's not a picture, it's like a cartoon. Um, I don't know. And you know what? The fact that I saw this album many times there, but it's like I never listened to that album in the store until the day one of my friends made me listen to that album at his place.
yeah,
And then I don't know, then you start discovering, but those memories, I mean, like once again, the fact that we want to create something like in your brand idea of some clothes on t-shirt,
yeah,
is the fact that we have something material, like this is
yeah,
art. Nowadays people would maybe will say, yeah, brand of clothes is just business. No, for in some cases yes, and this is the sad part of the whole
yeah,
things. But when people put really energy and create, one of the supporter of this podcast is a friend of mine from Brazil, from São Paulo, and his own Felipe owns Chaos Art Inc. And he made his own T-shirt with the
yeah,
brand and the prints. He's always limited for every season. Uh, and the prices are very, very affordable, and the quality is amazing.
yeah,
And so you realize, when somebody put some passion on that, and you buy, you invest, but you got the quality. And I'm I'm feeling proud when I wear that t-shirt, or when I'm doing podcasts with that t-shirt or with that
yeah,
cap or like it, because I know from where it come from. It's somebody who is putting energy, ideas. He got collaboration with one of a good friend of mine called Maneko, the tattoo artist, also from
yeah,
Brazil, and Oh, I need to tell you this one. I was in Berlin for work. I was working with a classical, with an orchestra, and I had the afternoon off. And it happens that 6 months before, I was already in Berlin on tour with Zielen Ardor, and on the day off, I did a tattoo on the back of my
Yeah,
head from a friend, from another friend. So connection and connection, you know. So I told this guy, you know what? I come say hi on the shop. Are you there? He said, yeah, yeah, come, just pass by. We can drink something and like this. So I arrive at the shop. I get in, and there is three tattoo artists working, you know. And then one of those just stood up, and I look at him and I say, wait a minute. And it was Maneko because he was
yeah,
tattooing there in that moment. And I didn't know. He stopped work, say, hey, Armão. And it was so funny because the customer was everybody was shocked because one person got into the store and the three artists just stopped
yeah,
tattooing, just coming cheering, and it was fun party. We were all straight edge, so that
yeah,
also that was kind of cool, you know. But this is kind of story about just going later. But Maneko did a collaboration with Chaos Art. Chaos Art always supporting the podcast. This is what I mean about connections and
yeah,
friendship and help. You know, as I said, DIY podcast. I don't earn money with that, but if I can shout out to some friends that I know that are doing a good job, I'm very, very happy and glad to do that because I
yeah,
think this is how people think should works, helping each other and everything. So this is things with arts and connection. It's just amazing,
yeah,
just going through a lot of memories. But the idea of I've learned so much. Like this is something that interesting when I do job interviews. Now that I'm freelancing, it's more like when I get to know my customers.
yeah,
Um, Sometimes they don't expect somebody like myself is working in classical music. Of course, when I got like an interview, good things to do, I wear for the situation.
yeah,
But sometimes it's not, oh, but you studied there, you did, but yeah, I got my background and I think it's helped me to get into university and everything. I've learned a lot. And for me, I don't expect that these paper will open me the doors, you know.
yeah,
But in the end, it's with the passion. And I noticed that working with some people, they understand, oh, yeah, this is this is why you do this work, or I really appreciate work with you. The communication was good, the job was good, delivered everything cool, and we did a lot of nice shows. And even this job allowed me to travel a lot for years.
yeah,
I Because of money or because I was a student, I didn't have really a chance to travel. And now every month at least, I somewhere, that's
yeah. That's
cool.
crazy. Yeah,
That's how life is sometimes gonna reserve you good
yeah,
surprises, you know?
yeah.
Just be patient, keep doing what you're doing and try to share message. Do you travel as of I don't know for when you for your war or for your producing or your marketing thing, did you also can connect these things with traveling or you are mostly the time there where you're living right now in Finland?
Yeah, my daily job is at the office,
Hmm.
so I'm a vendor manager this time, so there's no traveling at all. So basically, I'm just at my hometown. And when it comes to my so-called hobby, the modeling part, it's also just me and whatever I have around me.
Hmm.
So there's no traveling either because there's no money involved. Like you have this podcast, it's just for fun. I'm not asking for money either. So if someone wants to give me some nickels, yeah, fine. But I'm fine without it, of course.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I love to travel when we have time, we have vacations and so on. So I would want to travel more often, but it is what it is. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to travel when I get the chance.
Of course, of course. As I said, for me, life changed like 2 years ago. I start really suddenly they come, oh, Shanti, there is this tour, we need you. And in my mind was just, okay, I'm gonna be a year round. And they say, oh
Yeah,
no, the first tour, first date is in Stuttgart, the second one is in Berlin. Already going to Berlin. Like I got many friends there.
Yeah.
or in Hamburg, and they were all good friends. So it doesn't matter if you don't text them for 6 months; they're gonna be there for you,
Yeah.
whatever, whatsoever. But um, suddenly, we see each other 3 times a year. That was like so many times, you know. And then after Berlin, oh yeah, you fly to Madrid, and then you go there, and then,
Yeah.
then they say, whoa. And then after 10, 12 days, you come back and you're sleeping in your bed. It's like, that was cool. You know,
Yeah.
it give you, and I didn't expect that, like with, as I said, at the door of 40s, you know, it's not that there is an age for something like this, but honestly, I'm kind of glad that it's happening right now because maybe I'm more conscious and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it more. But yeah, it's just like a kind of surprise that I say didn't expect that, and it's welcome. You know,
Yeah.
and I really hope that I will have the chance to come to Finland too, connecting. Yeah, this is the part, the interesting part is job,
Yeah.
but it allows me to still in connection or to meet people that sometimes I never had the chance, or we just text on social media, and they say, "Oh, next month I'm gonna be there." Yeah, I'm free. Let's go. I come pick you up
Yeah.
at the concert hall, and then we drink something here at the corner. It's like, amazing. I love
Yeah.
that. And it's once again breaking this kind of society rules, it seems to me, because we are all I won't talk trash about having a phone because I'm on the phone all day long. I can't deny
Yeah.
that. It's part of my routine, it's a reality. I'm conscious about that. But at the same times, if I have the chance because I'm traveling or because I'm on my way, I text somebody, say, "Do you have time this morning or in the evening? Let's grab something to eat or just a
Yeah.
coffee or just pass by, say hi." And it happening. And I love
Yeah.
that. It create like a rhythm in your life that it's totally something different. And it happens also with tattoos, with music, with this. You have really a chance to see the world with different eyes, and you
Yeah.
you see different situations, and you see how people live. And nowadays we are bombarded from bad news or like what politics want us to believe or like this. And then sometimes there is like prejudice going some places, and then you are there and you talk with local people, friends, they got the same passion like skateboarding or music or tattoos once again. And then you just go, okay, I didn't expect that, or it's totally different.
Yeah.
So it's a positive thing. And I like that. Um, I was thinking once again about your words about the fact that you decide to do that and you do this on your own, and this is inspiring because I also had this kind of idea of, am I strong enough to do that on my own,
Yeah.
and of course you are not really on your own, but you build with the time your your basic, your what your standards are, and people supporting you in different ways, but it comes with the time. So for all the listen out there, just don't be scared, just go for it, just
Yeah.
try. I think because if you don't try to move things not coming to you.
Yeah.
That's a reality,
Yeah.
right?
That's a fact.
That's a
Yeah.
fact. And
Yeah. We just need to try and find out if it works. If it doesn't, it's fine also. Then we just try something different.
yeah, definitely. I'm seeing that you're wearing a Nails t-shirt.
Yeah.
That one of my favorite albums. I love the chaotic ways, the aggression they got it, the
Yeah.
energy they got it. What are you listening to at the moment? That could be interesting also for the audience to maybe just discover something new on their playlist.
Yeah, for me it goes with the weather outside. So if it's sunny out, I'm listening to pop punk mostly,
Yeah.
like Story So Far, for example,
Oh my God,
always
good.
my go-to band. But when it's starting to move into fall and winter and so on, there's always this kind of darker music that comes first on my playlist. So a few bands to mention, Cult of Luna from Sweden, and Death Heaven from USA, and also Frail Body from USA. That these are my top three choices for any day.
Nice, nice. I also have this when I see the sun outside, but even in winter sometimes. I mean,
Yeah,
of course, this is something different from Finland. Here, we don't have these things that you got days where really dark almost the whole
yeah,
days, and the opposite maybe in the summer. But I got some friends they love autumn. And I always say, guys, I don't understand your passion for that. The days are getting shorter, and it's not
yeah,
about the cold. It's cool, but it's these lights going down. Oh, come on. But when the sunshine, I always put like some melancholy, some this kind
yeah,
of punk rock like this. It's always help a little bit. But
yeah,
if I have to go to a more kind of more dark sound, because maybe days are different. I There is one album from this American band called Stained,
yeah,
Break the Cycle. That for
yeah. Good
me,
one.
that's the for me is the going one because it's so the tuning of the guitars, the heavy, and
Yeah,
of course a lot of memories because it belong on my teenage. But
yeah.
they
Same.
always have a special place that album, and then this is the way to go, and it's totally different from the others
Yeah, it is.
everything. So. But yeah, there's a lot of ton of good music, and it's also always amazing how it related to your mood. And I need to ask you, it's hard for you, like still in winter you have less sun. Oh, like
Yeah. Winters in Finland, like this eastern part
hmm
is the most light, I'd say. In the northern part, it can be completely different, dark
okay.
from all day long. So here the sun comes up at 8 a.m. and goes down like 3 p.m. So
hmm
the day is very short and it's mostly cloudy, like 3 or 4 months in a row. So it gets to me all the time.
Okay, so yeah, that's I think it has to be it's an experience that I would like to witness. Even for
No, you
just a
don't.
couple of days. No, I'm just curious, really, to see what does it mean. But, so it's something that it's not that you can say, okay, after 20 years, I got used to it. It's still like it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm that kind of kid of summers all the time. I would love sun shining all year long and
Mhm.
like plus 20 outside. That would be my dream. But we can't have everything. I
No,
just have to
I totally
enjoy all the
understand.
sun I have.
Yeah, I I give you some news. I'm thinking about slowly moving to Spain.
Yeah,
For different reason, mostly because Switzerland, not a secret, that Switzerland is becoming very, very expensive to live.
yeah,
And then you realize, also thanks to the traveling I did, that out there is other opportunities, and it's not because you're not more in Switzerland that you're not living good.
yeah,
Because I noticed that I grew up with some ideas of my country that, oh yeah, here is the best place, but then you realize even out in other places, it's a good place,
yeah,
Maybe because you realize that the balance between job and where do you live, the kind of climate you have and everything, it can really help a lot.
yeah,
And there is a lot of people out there maybe struggling with depression and other things, and sometimes those are dynamics that could really make a change. So this is one of the plans that I like to. So in case it will happen, definitely you need to come visit me. It always
yeah,
be
sure.
good for you. Your wife that will always play there because I felt myself very at home there.
Yeah,
It was a nice place, and I'll be back soon there. If I'm not wrong, already in December with the next tour. So I did it uh this year,
yeah,
2025. It started with three tours, and I've been three times in Spain.
yeah,
So I had the chance to connect with and understand how it's living there. Um, and I got really this feelings that it was very a place that I could call home. I got
yeah,
this feeling already when I moved from the south to the north of the country, from Ascona, my hometown, to Basel, and uh, and this is the reason why I started here, and I now have 15 years that I live here.
Yeah.
And when I went last year and this year in Spain, I got the same feeling, and this kind of scare it motivates me, but also scares me because it's you change something. But nowadays, you take a flight, you are 1.5, 2 hours away from where
Yeah.
you were before. So it's not that you are isolated or you need to go to Australia or literally on the other side of the world. And it
Yeah.
was such an amazing feeling. Won't lie to you, 2024 has been so hard. I've lost my dad. I had to deal with a lot of emotion, and I think all this work on myself, it helped me also to realize this. So, that's always important to find a place,
Yeah.
as in many song, a place you call home, and then that you can really you notice how the other things suddenly take shape, and then they make you feel really better. So
Yeah.
this is something that is on my plans, and but now I'm here. I'm enjoying my work and my life here in Basel. And listen, I think we are at the end of this episode. I think we discussed a lot of very interesting thing, and not
Yeah.
just about Finland and the living there, but also about you and your career and your plans and everything. Oh, and I suppose this would be very inspiring because, as I said, there is a lot of ideas out there. There is a lot of potential, but sometimes we are just stuck on there is different ways to reach your result, and not necessarily those that are expressed on social media from influencers and everything. Um, so I think there's always a positive message. Of course, all the information about you, about the connection, your tattoo artist, of course, it's
Yeah.
gonna be in the description on the episode. So just remember to listen to this episode on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Podcasts, or watch it on YouTube. And remember, follow it. It's free, like just click one click. It always makes a difference in this system. But if not, enjoy the episode. And Tommy, thank you very much. Do you have one last word for the audience?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. And my last words, like maybe be yourself, live for yourself, and remember that life starts when you go outside your comfort zone.
Thank you very much. What a deep thought. And thank you very much for your time. And yeah, we're going to hear from you definitely soon. Take care, my friend.
Take care.
Music to live for with Shanti.